In every tiny seed lies the power of life. Seed carries history, culture, and resilience. Indigenous seeds are the result of thousands of years of careful cultivation by farmers, native communities, and ancestors who understood the deep connection between the earth and life.
Thank you very much for having me. My name is Daniel Wanjama. I'm the director Seed Savers Network. We are happy to have this conversation, and thank you for choosing to talk to us. Seed Savers Network is an organization that started 14 years ago, and Seed Savers is about making sure that farmers can gain access or can have access to the seeds that are not conventional, seeds that are not normally available in the agro shops. You know, today if you visit any agro shops, you are likely to get seeds for maize, you are likely to get cabbage, exotic vegetables. But if you look for instance, cassava, if you look for beans, if you look even for sorghum and millet, if you look for local vegetables that we like, managu, that we like a lot, you are not going to find them. So our network is about conserving these seeds, these crop seeds at the farmer's level, then creating a network, a system, a platform which is online and also through seed banks, so that the seeds that people cannot access by buying them in the shops can be accessed through the network, through the seed fair, and through the seed banks across the country.
But today, these indigenous seeds and the wisdom that cultivated them face unprecedented threats. Global culture often favors uniform, commercial seeds, sidelining the diversity and strength of native varieties. This shift has led to a dramatic decline in indigenous seeds.
Yes, you know, our seed policy design, or our law that governs seed sector, has imagination that all the seeds could be commercially available by having some seed companies supplying them, like companies processing, growing them, and making them available in the market. But some of the seeds that farmers are interested in, companies are not interested in them. Why are companies not interested in them? Because they are not commercially viable, a lot of them. But they are important for climate change, they're important for nutrition security, they're also important because some communities value them. So a lot of seeds that people are interested in are not found in the shop. Yet, the expectation by the sector is that they are supposed to come from the shops. So there is no entrepreneur, no seed company that is interested in them. And therefore, this is what creates the supply gap. And this supply gap can only be plugged by the farmers, because when farmers are going to conserve seeds or they are going to use them, they are not going to target them as business, but they are likely to target them as food. So in the process of producing food, they conserve the seeds. And anybody who is interested in those seeds can be able to get them from the farmers. And a lot of seeds that are in our market today, a lot of them are imported seeds. Yet our diet is local. Mostly our diet is local. We're interested in local vegetables, interested in sweet potato, cassava, managu, those kind of things. And what we have in the shops are cabbage, spinach. We also have some maize, but that's all. You'll not find other things. So if we eat only that, then we shall have a problem with malnutrition. We have a problem with maybe some people not even having enough money to buy seeds. We have a problem with eating the same thing all the time. And therefore, this is the gap that farmers must close. And as an organization, we work on that sector to make sure that we have supply of seeds that are not commercially available.
Why should we care about preserving indigenous seeds? Because these seeds represent more than food. They embody resilience, adaptability, and cultural identity.
Yeah, from the perspective of farmers benefiting commercially, We understand that saving seeds or conserving genetic resources, conserving traditional seeds has a cost. And from the beginning, traditionally, is a traditional practice for farmers to save seeds and even sell from within the neighborhood, exchange with others. Like I give you one gorogoro of beans, you give me a gorogoro of sorghum, exchanging seeds like this. And this is the way farmers have benefited from that. Nevertheless, there are some farmers who specialize in conserving very rare seeds, and because I'm saying rare because they are not available in many locations, and because this conservation cost money, we have created a network where if you go online, you're able to find which farmer is conserving which variety of mrenda, for instance, and that farmer is able to, if you call that farmer, because we provide contact, is able to provide you with the mrenda that you want, and you maybe that could be the farmers. A lot of time they send on courier services, matatus, and then you could send them money because you are like supporting conservation by having those farmers who are saving those seeds and making sure that they don't go extinct, get compensated for that. And that is part of the benefit. But the other benefit that they have is that they grow food, and when they grow food, they're able to feed their family. We have seen a lot of farmers who are interested in seed saving, in conservation of this agricultural biodiversity. Mostly are women, because women are interested in nutritional security, and they are also interested in making sure that their children are healthy and they are able to have diverse food, and that bring nutritional aspect. And also seed saving a lot of time to the farmer at the farmer level, save them money, because if you don't save seeds, it means you go buy. You might be surprised that in this conversation, people all over the world think the most expensive thing is gold, but seeds are the most expensive things. They are more expensive than gold. If you have the 1 kilogram of gold and 1 kilogram of, for instance, hybrid tomato seeds, the hybrid tomato seeds price will be higher than that of the gold. And this means if farmers save seeds, then they save a lot of money, and nobody goes hungry because they could not buy seeds.
Indigenous seeds are naturally suited to their local environment. They've evolved alongside ecosystems, adapting to soil, climate, and even pest patterns over centuries.
In terms of the policy, as a country, we have one of the worst policy environment. Personally, I've been to US. People just pack seeds and sell without any requirement for certification. And they are huge seed companies that deal with diverse seeds that do not need to go through registration and certification and all this. But here we are facing serious constraint because farmers are not allowed to sell seeds. They are not even allowed to exchange seeds. They are not, because the farmer seeds are not certified. But certification program that exists does not favor farmers. It only favors huge companies. And therefore we have laws that are destroying our genetic diversity. We have laws that are creating hunger by making seed too expensive. And we have the laws that are creating dependency, such that we have no food sovereignty, now seed sovereignty, because, for instance, for vegetable seeds, we're importing over 95% from other countries. Yet, we are not doing that because we cannot do our own seeds, because the law somehow stops us from commercializing our seeds. So the level of commercialization is only like at the village level, at the farmers market level. And this criminalization of our seeds, or criminalization of seeds that are not certified, has made all of us criminals. The whole country is criminals, because everybody has obtained seed from someone and went and planted. And that is a crime because those seeds were not certified. So our laws are very, very bad.
They are robust and better equipped to withstand challenges like drought or disease than many commercial varieties. For indigenous communities, each seed holds a story. These seeds are passed down through generations, carrying not just genetic material but also cultural heritage and traditional knowledge.
As a network, we believe in our own knowledge. We also believe in knowledge sovereignty. So if we want to do training, we look for farmers who have experience and who have been cultivating certain seeds for a long time. So what we do is we conduct research with the community and see the technologies that farmers are using. And when we publish those technologies, and sometimes we test them using scientific means, and the people who are practicing that become the experts that we use to do the training. For instance, if a farmer is doing cassava seeds and they have been doing it for a long time, this farmer is 80 years old, there is something that they don't know about cassava. This is our expert. The person we interview, get the knowledge, and sometimes we bring that person to give knowledge to others. So our knowledge is based on practice and wisdom of the elders, not necessarily from the classroom, because we have realized there is some hijacking of the classrooms in a way that if you come from college of agriculture, you are likely to be talking about pesticide and chemicals. You become a marketer and you don't know what you are saying. So we trust elders who have been doing this practice more than the people in the classroom.
To lose an indigenous seed variety is to lose a piece of human history, a part of our shared heritage.
Okay, my name is Anne Wamboy. I work at Seed Savers Network as the seed bank and nursery officer. You're welcome. This is what we call a seed bank. A seed bank is where we are preserving our seeds, our traditional seeds, our indigenous seeds that we value very much. And it's just like a bank. It operates also like a bank where you have all your savings there. So our farmers' seeds, the ones that they treasure so much, they have them here. They have accounts which they have kept their seeds here in the seed bank. That's why it's called the bank.
So it's called the bank.
Yes. Yeah.
So what else, how many varieties of seeds do you have?
Currently, we are having around 360 accessions here in the seed bank. By accession meaning there can be two same varieties but from different climatical conditions. Those are two different accessions because they are adapted differently. Yes.
Preserving indigenous seeds also strengthens food security. In times of changing climates and unpredictable weather, biodiversity in our food systems is essential.
First of all, I would really tell them on how important these indigenous seeds are and how they are valuable even culturally to us. And also it carries along our culture, as I said, and our food sovereignty and food security, since you can replant again without going back to the shop to buy more seeds. Yes.
When we rely on only a few commercial crops, we risk losing entire harvest to disease or climate events. But with a diverse array of indigenous seeds, we have a natural safeguard.
So the process of seed banking, seeds before they are put in the bank, they go through several processes. The first of the process is drying. We dry the seeds to a moisture content of 10% and below to ensure that they can stay for a long time, since the moisture in them can't allow them to stay for a long time. So we dry them, not completely. We don't even dry in the direct sun. We dry it under a shade just to remove the small amount of moisture in them. The next step is the germination testing or the viability testing, where we test the viability of the seeds. Can these seeds really grow? and if they can really grow, like to what percentage. So we have a small experiment that we do that it involves a petri dish and a cotton wool or a kitchen towel. Then we put seeds there, about 10 seeds representing 100%. So we soak the kitchen towel and then leave it for about 2 to 3 days, and then you will start seeing the seeds starting to germinate. So after you notice that, we come and record the progress of the seed, and for seed to verify that they are viable, 8 must grow. 8 of the 10 seeds must grow, which is 80%, so that they can come here in the seed bank. So after the viability testing, then we bring them here inside the seed bank. Inside the seed bank, they are divided 3 times. The first one is we have to have seeds in our display of the seed bank, so that we can have a representation of the seeds that we are keeping here in the long term. So we take a small amount of the seeds, we put them in a container, a glass container, and put it in the display. The next one, we put it here in the fridge, and before we put in the fridge, we weigh to see the weight of the seeds that we are putting in the fridge, and we also count the seeds to keep track of the seeds that we are having here in the seed bank. We count and weigh and record, and they are given a unique number called an accession number. Now the accession number is the one that identifies each and every seed. Yes, there might be very many varieties that are the same, but they are from different agroecological climate zones. Like a bean from Nakuru is different from a bean in Kiambu, because the climate are different. That is why we classify them with accession numbers, which is just a recurring number. No, under that number, you find all the information about the seed, including where the seed is kept and which date it was kept, the result of the germination testing, the results of the moisture testing, and everything. Then we put the seeds in the vacuum sealer with an aluminum foil paper. The vacuum sealer helps us remove all the air and seal completely the seeds. After that, the seeds we put them in the fridge, and we record where we have put the seeds in the fridge, whether it's at the deep freezer or the down part of the fridge. We make sure we have a very clear record, and this is very important because of traceability of these seeds. There might be somebody wanting this particular type of seed, and maybe he or she doesn't know the seed bank very well. He or she will go to the records and just look and just find the seeds easily. So seeds in storage, the recommended temperatures of seeds to stay for a long time is -23 degrees and below. So in the fridge, we have a deep freezer section that is -23 degrees. Here.
Why?
Because seeds, for seeds to stay dormant for a long time, yes, they are alive, but we want just to make them dormant for some time for us to use it at a later time. So we are just putting them to sleep. So in those temperatures, that is when they are, yes, they are alive, but they are just sleeping, they are just dormant. Yeah. Then later we can maybe break the dormancy when we want to plant the seeds. Yeah, and we also have the other part of the fridge part doesn't have the negative degrees, and this is because yes, we have a lot of seeds, but there are those seeds that don't tolerate extreme temperatures, like those seeds that don't have a lot of those seeds that have oil in them, like for instance the groundnuts. we can't dry the groundnuts in like less than 10%. Groundnuts, we dry them to a moisture content of 15% and below because it has oil in them. It's their nature, or even chia seeds. So the same way we don't dry them completely, the same way they don't tolerate extreme temperatures. That is why we put them in the down fridge part where they can survive for up to around 5 years. Then we regenerate them again. Yes.
Fortunately, many are working tirelessly to protect these seeds. Indigenous communities, farmers, and organizations are creating seed banks where indigenous seeds are carefully stored and preserved.
First of all, when you're putting your seeds in a seed bank, there are those enemies of seed storage, which are air, warmth, moisture, and also pests. So you must put your seeds in a situation that it is discouraging all this. First of all, in a farmer's level, we encourage some farmers to use glass containers, specifically glass containers, because the glass containers can't have any air getting in them, because if a glass container has a crack, it will definitely break, unlike plastic container. If a plastic container has a small hole, you won't notice. And we are discouraging seeds from being exposed to air, because seeds, we call them hygroscopic seeds. They absorb moisture from the air. The air that we are breathing has moisture. So we have an occurrence of reabsorbing the moisture, and we removed the moisture when we were drying the seeds. So to avoid that, we encourage farmers to have glass containers that are full of seeds, not to leave any gaps, any spaces, because that gap, air definitely will be there and your seed can't last for a long time. That is one thing. The next thing, the room that your seed will be kept must be cold or cool, not hot, because now if you put your seeds in a hot place, you will find some of them germinating, because warmth is one aspect of seed germination. You find some of them germinating, some of them going bad, so that is discouraged. We have another thing, which are like the storage pests, which are some of these storage pests, they come from the farm with the seeds. So we encourage people to really scan the seeds. When they are actually saving the seeds, they scan them. They scan slowly, looking for any kind of weevil laying eggs, maybe inside the seed, and covered it, because the weevils that we are having nowadays, sorry to say, you can't notice. You can be brought seeds that are very good today, and tomorrow when you come, they are full of weevils. Then you just lose your seeds. So we encourage people to take extra caution when they are harvesting their seeds from the farm. And we encourage them to use traditional means of seed preservation, which is the most organic way to protect your seeds, which includes using diatomaceous earth. Diatomaceous earth is like chalk, the chalk that you light on the board. Yes, you take it and break it, you crush it into powder, then you mix with your seed. That way, any pest that can be there won't survive, because that environment doesn't have very clear, very good oxygen to survive, or even the eggs of the weevils to hatch. You can also mix with ash. Ash, you mix with the seeds, then you put in a container. The other thing, you can use Tithonia sap. Tithonia is a plant that is used to make biopesticides also. and it's very, very bitter. It has yellow flowers. And when you take it, you crush it with some water, then it makes a very thick soup that is very bitter. You take your seeds, you soak them for 2 minutes, then you remove them and dry them with the sap on top of the seed. So after that, your seed will be safe because no weevil can eat something that is bitter. Yeah, so you're just controlling them. The other thing is by smoking. During our grandmother's time, we didn't have issues of food security, food sovereignty. We were actually eating clean, nutritious, healthy food because they knew more than we know now. So, like that method of smoking, it was very effective. And myself, I didn't understand why my grandmother didn't cook all the githeri for us. She used to spare some cobs, selected cobs, to put them in on top of the smoke, and then she would plant them maybe next season. I didn't used to understand. Right now I'm understanding that at the pace that we are going, we might actually lose our food security and food sovereignty because we are not embracing these techniques that they used to do. Yeah.
By supporting these efforts, we invest in a future where farming systems are resilient, food is diverse, and cultures are respected.
Yes. First of all, as a farmer, you don't need like to have a whole building like a seed bank. You can start slowly. Like you can start saving seeds slowly in small containers, and then you put it in a drawer at the room that you know it's most cold in your house. That's a seed bank. So a seed bank doesn't have to be a very big building or a very big thing. Even if you saved 2 or 3 varieties to plant the next season, you are a seed saver. That is as simple as, you don't need a lot of equipment. You just have to make a decision to start saving seeds. Yeah, they definitely lose their original yield. Like it used to give us very high quantity, high yields, but then after it has cross-pollinated with the exotic ones, there's issues of cross-pollination with our indigenous varieties, with the exotic varieties, which is bringing the yields of the indigenous varieties down. So like you have harvested this season and they have cross-pollinated, so when you plant the next season, they won't give you a lot of harvest like the earlier ones. And they are also subjected to diseases that you have never experienced before. That is how they are actually destroying our indigenous seeds. And what we always advise our farmers is to, when they are doing indigenous seeds, they try as much as possible to plant before or after the exotic farmer, so that the stages cannot go the same, so that it can avoid cross-pollination. Maybe the exotic farmer can start and then you plant later, or you start, the exotic farmer plants later. So that is just a method of just showing farmers how to protect their indigenous seeds.
By preserving indigenous seeds, we safeguard our ability to nourish ourselves and future generations. We protect the Earth's biodiversity and honor the knowledge of those who came before us.
I'll talk about the different types of seeds. Now, we have the heirloom seeds. They have the heirloom, which are like the indigenous seeds. We have the GMO seeds and the hybrid seeds. So I'll start with the GMO seeds. The GMO seeds are seeds that are manufactured in the laboratory, like they are made in a lab, and for them to survive, for them to grow, you must apply a lot of biopesticides, a lot of toxic chemicals in your soil for them to really survive and give you good yields. And you can find that you are not actually applying water at some time to the GMO seeds. You're applying just pesticides only, pesticides and chemicals only. Yes, they have very good yields, but they have done damage to your soil. They have done damage to, you have done damage to the person who is going to consume that food, because the person who is consuming that food will just eat chemicals, nothing else. And they are normally very attractive, like what everybody loves. Then there are hybrid seeds. The hybrid seeds, they are indigenous seeds, but they are altered to be maybe enhanced a little bit. So it is not the original thing, but they will give you a very good harvest, but not for a long time. You can't plant like 3, 4, 5 times, because the produce will just go down with time. And then you'll find also the hybrids, you're using toxic pesticides and chemicals at times. And then we are having the heirloom or indigenous seeds. These indigenous seeds are the ones that are passed down to generations, like the seeds, zile mbegu zenye mababu zetu walikuwa wanatumia, we are having them. They have been passed down. The original variety has been passed down to generation to generation, and they are like 10 years old or 20 years back. Yeah. So, and they are the most resistant, because these varieties are the ones that are locally adapted to the environment. These varieties, you tend to find that hata zikipigwa na baridi kidogo, they are able to sustain themselves, because they are locally adapted. They are not manufactured or anything. They are used to this, so they can actually give you produce, even if you don't spray them any chemicals. And these varieties are the best ones, because you tend to find that the input is almost zero, actually zero, and the output is most, because you're even selling the seeds.
Indigenous seeds are not just seeds, they are a legacy. Let us protect and honor them for our planet, our people, and our future. Join us in preserving indigenous seeds, support local farmers, seek diverse foods, and remember, in every seed, there's a story worth saving. This is Imagine Business.